First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
We were able to put something together so we could still be on TV again this morning. I want to say thanks to Mike over at UTR for that. And then Bill gets an assist. He's still up on the ladder in front of the camera trying to get some of the options to come down. And
I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing to help right now. I'm just sitting here.
I'm sipping my coffee as well. It feels like I can't believe we're doing this. All right, now careful coming down now.
I'm not coming down. I'm trying to get these. I cannot remember how to get these stupid things on.
I couldn't remember either.
So
I actually
one,
toyed
Jeff,
with that for about a half an hour yesterday as well.
There's one doing the same thing, a camera that would be ordinarily pointing to Bill. So if you wanted me to go in there and maybe also troubleshoot that, maybe that's an option.
Oh, careful.
Oh, still attached here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning is right. So I'm we're working this stuff out. This isn't a TV studio, but sometimes we pretend like it is. A chilly start this morning, just 41 degrees. We will warm up. I'm a little we'll get Bill's thoughts on this in a second. I'm a little not impressed with the forecast with we're back into the 40s to wrap up the week with rain. So it'll certainly feel like early spring as we wrap up the rest of this week. Also disappointed, my Mets haven't been able to play. I don't know, what have they had? 3 COVID cancellations, 6 games, and 3 weather postponements? I think that's what we're up to right now. Mets are scheduled to play a doubleheader coming up today, set to begin at 4:10. You weren't able to get those icons down either, were you? No. Yeah, Andrew's testing out on another computer, another camera, and he couldn't get that down as well. So thank goodness we've got, well, I was going to say, thank goodness we've got Bill up there who knows what he's doing, but he's struggling with this now as well.
For the same reason I don't do the Sudoku or the crosswords, puzzles usually get the better of me, and that's kind of what we're dealing with right now.
Coming up this morning, we'll talk about Senator Schumer ready to move on changes in the marijuana laws, even if President Biden isn't. We've talked a little bit about this of late, the inspiration for Rocky Chuck Wepner. Our man Bill in New Hartford had a trivia question geared around that, and believe it or not, I actually had the correct answer because I remember seeing a lot of information about this. The guy who inspired the Rocky movies still fighting. He's got cancer. And Chuck Wepner, you can find a story about him on our website right now. We'll talk about this coming up this morning. And I was kind of teasing it, but I wasn't sure if that was correct. We're actually going to talk to Chuck Wepner this morning, believe it or not. That's incredible. Does he live local?
I think he's in the New Jersey area.
In New Jersey, okay.
But I thought he was going to drive to New York and give me a right hook yesterday.
Well, he was upset with you?
Not really upset, but enough to jokingly say that he was. I apparently, for him being an 82 years old, had to be a lot slower with giving my phone number in the voicemail. So apparently I sped through the phone number really quickly.
Interesting. So I think that's awesome. I'd like to know a little bit more on that backstory because, again, originally it was never said that he was the inspiration for Rocky, but I think it was something that was admitted later, and then ultimately there was a lawsuit.
I am just sweating to death now.
Let me get some air.
And Wepner actually was an opponent of Muhammad Ali, of course.
Yeah, that was one of the fights where he was just kind of, I hate to say this word, bludgeoned. I mean, it was really ugly. He was beaten up for 15 rounds, but. We'll talk to him coming up this morning. Bill's laughing at, was it my use of bludgeons?
No, I just can't believe that we just did that for the first 15 minutes trying to figure that out. It blows my mind that
it would be a day in our studio.
Everything has just, we have a fried, I mean, basically we're jerry-rigged right now to be on the air on TV. So we're on.
I appreciate, as I mentioned earlier, Mike came by yesterday and ran that computer through a converter, and it's enough to get us on for now.
I'm not even sure it's framed properly at this point, so you'll have to worry about that. But I believe as long as we don't have another power surge, I think we're working. So, good morning. It's that is so. I'm just so embarrassed that I've just spent my last 15 minutes with my face in that camera.
You're up close and personal with the audience.
So Chuck Wepner, there was a lawsuit over. He sued Sylvester Stallone, and you can look that up. It's all out there, and we'll speak with him. Don Leibel did the interview, and Don does columns basically tied to sports, talking sports every week on our website at WIBX950.com. And he did this latest one and said, you'll be able to speak with him. And we called, and we'll have him on today. And he's battling cancer.
Terrible.
You know, there's a story this morning that I have that they believe that with a new artificial intelligence that we will be able to, and it's already approved by the FDA. So this is the reality is just getting this technology into the imaging centers, the digestive disease places, wherever you get your colonoscopy. And they believe that this will wipe colon cancer off the face of the planet.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, it's big news. And what it is it's a special camera that is that has been and a special computer system that has been shown cancerous polyps, more than a million. It's in the multi-millions that it is actually seen and detected. And it's now to the point that it does a better job than the human eye at detecting cancer. So sometimes what happens with a polyp is they can be flat and difficult for someone to see during a colonoscopy. So they would miss them. So you get your colonoscopy. It looks like you have nothing. They give you another, 5 years? And then you go back, and that has gotten worse, and it has developed into a full-blown cancer. And that's where a lot of these cancers end up coming from. This artificial intelligence will allow the colonoscopy to show even the tiniest cancerous polyp, precancerous polyps, and it's believed that it would eliminate colon cancer. Is that incredible or what?
It's amazing. It's really unbelievable.
And
they do the surgery to get rid of the polyps with a robot now, too.
Correct, yeah.
That's great.
I do feel like I'm going to just erase the previous 20 minutes from my mind, like it never happened. Even though it's on tape, I'd like to erase it.
Well, if you want some optimism with regard to that, Marie just called in. She said, thank you for what you do, collectively, the show, and thank you for fixing the camera. It looks fine. If you had said it maybe not be framed correctly. And she said that you looked 6'5" when you you were that close to the cameras.
Yeah, and I almost fell 6'5". With one little twist, it was going to get quite messy. All right. So this morning we'll speak with Chuck Wepner, by the way, who is suffering from cancer. And he's fighting it like he's fought everything else. He had that amazing fight with Muhammad Ali, and that's the inspiration, where he just wouldn't go down. And that is the inspiration that they had for the movie Rocky. Dr. Ken Hall is on. There are a number of stories here this morning on the vaccine, on the efficacy of the vaccine. One of the stories out there today also is, and I'm sorry I'm reciting these because I don't have my computer set up. One of the other stories today is something that we've talked about, whether we're talking about Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, or Moderna. We've all gotten efficacy reports in the last couple of weeks, right, saying that these vaccines work for up to 6 months. And it has caused a number of stories in the media saying that the vaccine works for 6 months. And there's now a science physician that is saying you're misreading what is being reported. It's up to 6 months, and the reason it's up to 6 months is that we only know 6 months right now.
Right.
It's only been 6 months, and specifically in the story, he says this is in the Wall Street Journal. Specifically in the story, he says that in another 6 months, I'm confident we're going to be saying that it works for up to a year.
But how long will it take for us to know if it lasts for 2 years?
Well, my guess is it will be 2 years.
But why is that?
We'll know. By the time you get there, I'm assuming we'll know more, right?
It'd be great to be past COVID by then.
Then there's a story that's not so positive. When they talk about the African variant, they're saying that the vaccine doesn't work as well it still works, but it doesn't work as well on the African variant. And I'm not sure which one is sweeping through Buffalo right now. I think it's the British variant.
I was going to say, how many variants are there? I mean, wasn't there a New York variant at one point?
I think the longer that the virus remains out there without us sending it into what we've all heard about and herd immunity, I think the longer it's out there, the more variants that are potentially able to pop up. So, So anyway, we'll deal with all of that with Dr. Kent Hall later on this morning. Rob Esch is on this morning. Did you see the announcement they made yesterday?
I didn't know.
Got it in my email there.
What are the dates, Andrew? It's the upcoming
you guys
games.
are season ticket holders. That's why.
Correct. Upcoming games. If you're a season ticket holder, the next 2 games, and Andrew will give us the specific dates. The next 2 games, they're giving tickets out for free.
That will be for April 21st, which is a Wednesday, and free tickets for Wednesday, April 28th as well.
How about that?
If any tickets remain available to the general public after the season ticket member pre-sale, tickets will be available to the general public at $25 a ticket, so not including any food or drink. So they've reduced the price of the general admission ticket for non-season ticket holders for those 2 games, but you will have
the season ticket holders will get first. The problem is you're still only at 10%.
Right.
So it still means only 400 people get in. But what they're saying is a thank you is we're not going to charge you for these 2 games.
I think it's very nice.
I have to tell you something. This is not going on in Syracuse. It's not going on in Rochester. I do give them credit for trying to get something up and running because it's you're losing money every game they play. They're losing, and to be able to pull this off just so we have this thing rolling, I think is a real positive. Rob is on after the free money question this morning from Hopica that we'll get to. So there you have that. You're upset about the weather. Today and tomorrow are going to be really beautiful.
You know,
mid-60s with sun and clouds. I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then it cools off.
Thursday, Friday is like highs in the mid-40s. I'll tell you, last night, I didn't realize it was going to be so chilly last night. I think it got down. I don't know what it got down to. It said my phone said it was going to get down to
upper 40s.
I froze last night. I slept out in the sun porch, the dog and I.
It is incredibly foggy right now.
It's really foggy, yeah. And so I kind of like the cool air like that. So that's why if you're right around 50 or a little below, I'll sleep right out in the sunroom. And I woke up this morning to find that the dog had said, no, it's too cold for me. She was in the house, balled up on the couch. But yeah, look, I haven't been out there and golfed. I haven't done a ton of stuff outdoors as I wanted to because we're stuck indoors most days with whether it's the virus or work responsibilities. And then I'm looking at it now. I almost feel like we're heading into fall. I feel like I missed the bubble.
I'm working on a story, and I'm going to put some pictures up today to authenticate it. But I was driving in the Whitesboro area yesterday, and all of their, I don't know what kind of flowering trees they are. I don't know. But they're blossoming. All those trees over there, right around Harts Hill, they're all beginning to blossom. So I went back, and I seem to recall last year that we were a little slower out of the gate with nice weather. Mm-hmm. And we did have a couple of nice days last year, but for the most part, we were stuck inside. That was the real shutdown, if you recall. I'm sure you do, as much as you don't want to.
Of course.
But comparing the trees, we are about a month ahead of time in terms of the budding and blossoming of trees out there. So I have photos from the middle of May, and the trees in my backyard are just starting to bud. So the leaves are just starting to bud. That is exactly where we are right now, in what is coming up on in the middle of April. And I think it's that warmer weather that has given us the head start.
Yeah, and I think we were really lucky if every winter was like this past one, it really wouldn't be that bad, especially when you get the early onset of spring. I mean, we had several 70-degree days in late March and early April. That's awesome.
Chuck Wepner is on the radio this morning at 8:15, as we had said. Wayne with a little something on that, I believe. Good morning, Wayne.
What was Webner going to talk about?
Well, I thought you're calling about WrestleMania, and
yeah.
And he actually boxed. Who did he box? One of the big former wrestlers. Andre the Giant. It might have been Andre the Giant. I think he boxed Andre the Giant or something like that.
He definitely lost, didn't he?
Kind of a wrestling tie-in there for you.
He did, actually.
How many punches does it take to get knocked out by Andre the Giant?
Was it Andre the Giant?
It was.
It was, yeah.
I would imagine Andre probably didn't even feel one punch.
I don't know. I think he was probably jumping up to try to get the punches in, right? So you're just going at the belly. Okay.
Go at the legs. Everybody goes at the legs. Anyway, I was watching WrestleMania, and they had, a crowd. They allowed them to have a crowd, and a lot of them didn't have their mask on, and they were right on top of each other. Everybody, not just the ones that didn't have the mask on, but people were on top of each other. And if you want to see it, pull up some of the footage and take a look. They were all over. It looked like no pandemic.
The only thing I say is if they're doing it the way a lot of those places are doing it, it is that they come in their own pods. So you're a group that stays together, and you can be together. I see the same thing when they show pictures of restaurants on TV, and you have people.
But that's not what I mean, Bill. They're on. Okay. There's no difference. I mean, you have to. I guess.
So you're saying
I know you want to shoot down what I'm saying right off the bat, but
I don't know, Wayne. I got to tell you. Let's stop right now. Wayne. What is this animosity between you and me all of a sudden? I don't know where it's coming from.
It almost seems like everything I say to you, you're debunking before you take a look at it first. And then that's all I'm asking. Take a look at it, some of the footage, and then come back and then debunk me.
I'm never going to look at it, just for the record. Okay,
well, there you go. Then you're never going to know the truth.
It is never going to happen. I'm not. Listen,
you're a wrestler.
Listen, I'm there. That wrestling, I'm sorry to disagree with you again, is not the wrestling that kids do in high school. But okay,
and I don't know that.
Wow, like Wayne, like I'm pissing you off. What's going on, man?
You know how someone says, "Don't say it's fake," because they're very athletic and it's very physical. I'm one of them guys, okay? I know you watch TV, and I know TV's fake, but yet I listen to your stories about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel like we have this family, and all of a sudden we're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner, and one of the members of the family is really annoyed by another member of the family. But he stays at the dinner table.
I love you,
but
so it don't matter what you think. I still love you.
I know you do, but you stay at the dinner table. And I just don't. All I'm saying is, I'm really asking you. I'm not telling you. I'm saying what they're doing in a lot of these things is they have people come in pods, and then you can say, no, that's not what this was.
That may be the case.
I'm not going to disagree with you. We're just having a conversation, and if we all agreed, we wouldn't have a show.
But if we all disagreed, we wouldn't have a show neither, would we?
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's what the show is. Everybody, but listen, how many times a day do I hear, Bill, I listen every day, but I'm going to tell you, most times I disagree with you. I'm okay with that.
All I'm saying is
sorry
watch
if you
it,
feel.
Watch it and then make an opinion. That's all I'm saying. Most of the things you say, I try to look at first and then have an opinion on it, not have an opinion.
I'm not going to watch it.
Well, then ask somebody that did something.
So, hang on.
Wayne. You. I'm trusting what you're saying.
I'm telling you, and you're not listening, you're not paying attention.
That's not true.
I'm telling you, they were all over each other.
So,
there was no restriction of any bubble pod, nothing. They were in a crowd just like you'd see if you were pre-pandemic.
Which allow me for my next question. Were they at 100% capacity?
No, but they were all on top of each other. So
okay. All right.
The stadium wasn't full, but they had everybody down in an area. It wasn't like they spread them out. And some of these things I'm seeing, they're spreading them out. So they're spread out a little bit, and they can stay in their little crowd. This one looked like, okay, we're going to use 1/3 of the stadium, and look at, they're all crammed on each other. That's what it looked like.
Understood. Hold on a second for me. Siri, hey Siri, play "We Are the World." Because when I worked at the Waterfront Grill down in it was Studio 54. Is this the song? Whenever there'd be a fight down on the dance floor in Herkimer, Rocky Fiata would say, "Play "We Are the World," and everyone will just get along. So I'm hoping
I don't dance with men, Bill, but you want to dance?
I'm hoping we can slow dance here, Wayne, and we can. I really don't mean to be disagreeing with everything you say. I really don't.
It's not intentional.
But let's listen.
Can we just say that we played "We Are the World"?
That's probably a good point. Yeah. and normally I'd be able to play it on the computer, but. You know,
we also do the Burt Bacharach hit "What the World Needs."
And Wayne, if all mornings to confront me on disagreeing with you always, this morning you choose this morning to bring it up.
Well,
the worst morning.
What was the key word? What was the key word I told you? I came in late.
Okay, well, good for you. You missed the debacle in the first 20 minutes. So
why don't you give me fill me in?
Well, so hang on. Can I ask a serious question?
The moment you were trying to forget, can you be?
All right, hey, can we? Let me just say one thing, and then you guys can laugh it right off. Okay? I was on the phone with Andrew talking to him about something, and he said, "Do you want to go on and talk about this?" So I don't know where we were.
Listen, and I want to tell you, Wayne, this is like you have called my program, no matter where I have been for years. I mean. It goes back a long time, right?
Yes.
So I value your calls.
Which is why I encourage you to come on when you have a thought. But WrestleMania.
I just my natural instinct is to challenge people when they call because that's the dynamic that as opposed to me saying, "Yeah, Wayne, you're absolutely right. Screw them." You know.
Yeah, but after you challenge somebody and you find out something different, do you not come to an agreement?
I'm to an agreement on this WrestleMania thing. I have no clue. I'm trusting your word for it, and it doesn't mean enough to me to actually go back and find a DVR version of it and watch it. I trust you.
I only said that to you because I feel that if you don't believe me and just shoving it to the side, when you got a minute, a valuable minute, take time and just see it, and you'll be like, you know what? There was no bubble. There was no pop because I'm telling you, they're on top of each other with masks off. I really don't care. I just figure you guys always talk about it, and that's why I brought it up.
I trust what you say.
All right, so Wayne, here, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, and I'm going to do a little mediation. Bill, I'm going to show you this. Now, here's my little...
Oh, now I get to see it.
My little preamble.
We're forcing you to.
I have a new roommate, and he's into wrestling.
Oh,
he likes it, okay? So... And he's already hooked up my TV. I think.
Oh, did Wayne go?
No, did he? No, Wayne, stay there. No, stay there. He's still there.
I was going to put the radio.
Okay, ready?
They jammed me off. I got to listen.
No, so all right. First of all, look at that picture. So I actually saw at least parts of both nights of WrestleMania. But do you see the crowd in the background?
I don't want to look at the crowd because of the two beautiful women on the in the ring that I'm looking at there. So.
I like the foreground better than the background.
Yeah, I can't tell. It's a blurred out crowd, but it looks like it's full.
It looks like they had about 25,000 people. They were playing in Raymond James Stadium, which is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play.
So it's in Florida.
In Florida. Here's the thing I don't get. Wayne, I didn't see a ton of people with masks off. Like even in these images I'm looking at, you can see people, a lot of people are wearing masks, not all of them, but they are. It would be like if you said, you've got to wear a mask at the Adirondack Bank Center, but we're going like 70% capacity.
Right.
You're right next to all these people. I mean, there's like thousands of people right there. Here's what this blew my mind. As I mentioned, I have a new roommate, and he'll click over. He's watching WrestleMania last night. I love Davey. It's not Davey. It's not Davey.
I know.
What's the Monday night show called? Is it still Raw?
Monday Night Raw, yep.
When I was a kid, it was Raw. I walk in the living room. He's got it on. They're in some dome. So they went back-to-back nights of WrestleMania with thousands, tens of thousands of fans in attendance. They went to a live Raw show last night, and they got the monitors up. The screen where you're a fan watching at home, and they show your Facebook live image.
Right.
So they did 2 live nights of WrestleMania with fans in attendance, and then did a live show Monday, 0 fans. I'm like, why don't they let the fans in? He goes, I don't know. This is what they usually do for
where
Monday.
They were, though. If
they were still in Florida. They're still in Florida. I don't get it.
Well, and I do think that some of the, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I want to preface that. Wayne, I'm busting your chops. And by the way, Rob says, boy, Wayne hates you. Thanks. Thanks, Rob.
No, I don't. I just think over the years you've changed a little bit, and everybody does. And I like I said, you could do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. I still love you like a brother.
Listen, I guess who knows? Well, there are some people that are like, thankfully you changed. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on. You wouldn't be alive anymore.
Wow, that's a leap.
So I think the rules, and it's there too, Florida too. And I know I spoke to somebody last night about Florida, and they're saying it's being done right there. Everything's open, and we're not open. And I get it. It's frustrating, and it's difficult, and it's difficult for businesses. But I think in Florida, you have from county to county, from city to city, each place handles this much. Some places there are mandates, even though the governor says there can't be mandates. And I guess that's recently been lifted. But some counties are very strict. Other places aren't strict at all. And
I think if they pull your temp that they think it's good enough, come on in the door and you could do whatever. I think that's...
I thought it was interesting with the Comets. You had to have a negative test within 6 hours of the game. So
for the instant.
The
PCR could have been...
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
but
maybe a day before.
I went at like 4:00 for a game we went to at 6:30. And the other thing is they take your temperature, which is the first time I've had my temperature taken on my wrist. Yep. But they take your temperature going in. As long as you're good there, then you got to sign a document and you're good to go.
In the health screening form.
But only 400 fans.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, I could be your Richard.
You could be.
Now, Richard is your Richard. I could be your Richard.
Yeah. Do you think that my views have changed? You say I've changed over the years. Is it my views?
My honest opinion is I think at one point you weren't as opinionated, and now it seems like you're more of a leftist Democrat. I don't know. seems to be that. Maybe and that rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know.
Well, clearly,
but like I said, it doesn't make a difference what you are, who you are. I just
want you to know I am not a leftist, and I'm glad you love your leftist brother. But
Bill, who you kidding? I saw the Antifa stickers in your car.
Me and AOC, we go way back. All right. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, and the reality is, I try to play it in the middle, and I have liberals and conservatives screaming from both sides that I mean, who just before the election, wasn't there somebody that was like, well, I know you guys are all Trump supporters in there.
Oh yeah.
And then I know Biden's your guy Biden. Neither of which is true. So, but I think if I don't support Biden, it angers somebody who does. And certainly with Trump supporters, if I don't support Trump, then it angers them. So I just have no friends because I've made everybody angry. So what are you going to do? All right, Wayne.
I'm not angry. I'm easy to get along with. I don't hold grudges. And like I said, I love you like my brother. My brother could do a million things wrong. My mother could not agree with me. But guess what? In the end, I still love him.
All right. Well, I feel the same way. Thank you, Wayne. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for not watching the first 15 minutes of this program because it was just horrible.
Hey, it happens. And look, you guys had your little disagreement.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm going to disagree with you. I've never seen what just happened on TV ever happen on TV.
Somebody actively fixing the technical problem.
Clearly, they're running a Canon home camera up there right now to make this thing work.
The best thing was during the news, we were learning all the features of the Canon X-Fire 517.
Do you know this camera you can actually write on the screen? You could hey, how you doing, or something like that.
Did those other boxes finally go
They're
away?
all gone now. Yeah. Well, now, if you ask me how I did it, I'll tell you when I find out.
Like I said, that one pointing at you, that's another one too.
Oh, God almighty. And then Michael this morning says, we lost over, and this is the conversation we had earlier on cancer. We lost over 53,000 last year from colon cancer. And if this new artificial intelligence can eliminate colon cancer, that's just incredible. And it's the misery you go through, and what families go through, 53,000 people. And then he said, how about in 60 Minutes Sunday when they tested live people for antibodies who lived through the 1918 pandemic, and they still had antibodies today. That's part of how they're coming up with a vaccine, and a vaccine that they believe could eliminate not only all coronaviruses, but that would include the common cold.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's really exciting and also, I think, scary a little bit that we're so technologically advanced.
Yeah,
this stuff still scares me a little bit.
What does big business do when they can't sell us cold medicine? Those companies are going to have to find something else to make us
and the artificial intelligence thing. Hey, that robot, it just detected colon cancer and stole my wife.
Yeah, that's right. He looked very attractive to her. All right, I got a break, and we do have a pretty decent day on the way today, with temperatures going up into the mid-60s.
How do we top that? You've got to fight Chuck Wepner today. It's the only way we're going to fight that. We're only going to tap that.
Okay, all right. I'll take him on. Chuck Wepner, the legendary boxer and inspiration for the movie Rocky movies, is going to be on in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm pretty excited about that.